and welcome to rounds 5 and 6 for the 2013 GT Cup Championship here at Brands Hatch. This weekend, the Indy circuit will offer spectators views of almost all of the shorter configuration from wherever they watch. It will also offer our drivers a new set of challenges from our previous meet here at Brands. So let's chat to some of those drivers and see how they got on in qualifying.
Smallwood.
Alex Martin.
Yeah, hi, my name's Marcus Vivian.
Chris Randall.
Hello, Kevin Riley.
We've just had the qualifying. How did it go for you?
Yeah, pretty good. We're P3. I was in the car. I'm with Ben Barker this weekend, so he's not allowed to qualify, being a pro. Yeah, it went okay. We went out on old tyres to start with, just to dial me in a little bit. Then we stuck a new set on and did what I was just talking about. Did I think something like 5 laps. Did our best time on the 5th lap. So yeah, I think we're in good shape for the race. So we'll see what we can do this afternoon.
Alex, I know you've got a new aero package to your car this weekend. I guess that really helps with the sort of downforce and corner speed, and it's made a difference because you're pole position.
Yeah. The main difference with the aero pack is not maybe the outright speed, it's the how long the tyres are lasting. And we made the decision that, you know, we're winning the class quite comfortably in the championship. We want to try and get, you know, further up front overall. We want to try and beat some of the GT Open cars, which is a big ask. You know, they're much quicker, but we get more TV coverage. It's better advertising for the company and everything. So that's the aim.
Marcus, I know it's the first round for the GT Cup Championship, first time in the car even, and you were P1 in your class. So it went pretty well for you, didn't it?
Yeah, it's good. You know, it's a quick little car, and the guys did a good job setting it up. Yeah, it was a good session. Good session.
And tell us, what's the setup like in the car, being the first time you've even been in it? That must have been pretty daunting to actually compete a race in that.
No, not at all. You know, a car's a car. I mean, setup yesterday was okay, a little bit loose in the back end. We tightened it up this morning, and honestly, in practice this morning, we were just on fire. The car felt rock solid. Unfortunately, I did disintegrate my front left, so I have a chat to Pirelli about that later on. So we changed the setup, put a little bit more weight on that tyre to protect it, which made it a little bit loose in our qualifying session again, but hey, we got P1, so it can't be that bad.
Chris, I know we've just had qualifying. You were 2nd in your class and you were 5th overall. Just tell us, how was it out there?
Yeah, it was okay. We'd like to have been 1st in class, really, as you always would do. We're picking up quite a lot of wheel spin, so we're just busy trying to make some setup changes to try and get a bit more traction. Looking through the data, we were quick into the corners, quick through the corners, but we're not putting the power down at the moment, so that's hurting us.
Okay, I'm with the Kevin Riley at the moment, and Kevin, just tell us what happened. Electrical problems this time during qualifying.
Yes, we've never had the same problem twice, but we have had lots of problems. This time a connection came undone, and 3 laps into qualifying, still on cold tyres, had no electrics. The car just cut out. So I parked it on the grass this time. I was towed in. We sat at the pits until the problem was found and rectified. Shot out on cold tyres again, with only 3 laps left of qualifying. My 3rd lap was obviously the best lap, but it wasn't the lap which would have been, which was the 4th lap. I got the flag. So the time on the grid is not representative. And yesterday, on very worn tyres, I was a 2nd quicker. So on new tyres, I should be 2 seconds quicker. We'll see. But obviously, we've got a fabulous Riley prototype ahead of us. And if I can get past him, I'll be very happy.
Well, on the positive note, you are 2nd row of the grid, so that's not all that bad, really, is it? You can actually go somewhere from there.
Well, that's right, if the car stays together for the whole 40 laps.
Throughout the 2013 season, the GT Cup Championship have a full grid running on Pirelli tyres. Tyre strategy plays a key role in the results because of the range of the conditions the cars have to face throughout a race weekend, especially here at the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. I'm just here with Lloyd Boltz-Miller, the race engineer for FF Corsa. Lloyd, just talk us through the different levels of degradation.
Yeah. Basically here we've got 2 sets of tyres. They're both off car number 9, front slicks. And what you'll see here, this is what we would see as a textbook tyre. We can see across the top we've got nice even tyre wear. There's no graining from left to right. This would be the inside edge, this is the outside edge. And what we try to do is maximise the wear across the actual tyre surface. This is a contact patch with the tarmac, and the more of this we can utilise, obviously the higher grip levels there are. On this side we've got an example of a poor tyre Across the top, again, this is the inside edge, this is the outside edge, and what you'll see here, this is what we refer to as graining. On this edge here, you'll see it starts to ripple up, and this is due to excess heat, normally through understeer. The ironic thing with this tyre as well is this is actually on the outside edge. What we do to combat this is we'll add a little bit more camber into the car, so that we actually put more of an angle onto the inside of the wheel, and therefore as the tyre goes around the corner and the sidewall flexes, it will actually roll less onto this outside edge. So this was actually from FP1 this morning, and this is from FP2, so you can actually see what we've got here is a vast improvement. So in today's race over 40 minutes, this will play a massive part towards the end of the race.
Pete, we're just going to talk about tyres. We've got a full grid running on Pirelli tyres for the 2013 season. Just tell us, how important is tyre setup for races like these?
Absolutely critical. It's the #1 thing that we've been working on in terms of setup, getting the pressures right, and trying not to overwork the tyres during qualifying, so we've got as much life left in them for the race. So, bit of pressure on in quali to try and drag a time out. The tyres come in probably around lap 3, lap 4, something like that. So you've got to deliver your best time relatively quickly and then try and park the car to save the tyres. So, yeah, very critical.
Chris, just tell us how important tyre setup is throughout a race weekend.
It's absolutely critical. I mean, with these Pirelli tyres, what we find is you have to spend some time getting heat into them to get them working. But it's a balance. You want to get the tyre so it's at its optimum temperature, but not past its optimum temperature, and obviously get the pressures right. They don't respond well if you run them very low pressure, and they don't respond well if you run them very high pressure. So it's a bit of a balancing act throughout the weekend.
Alex, pole position, 0.8 of a second faster than the Riley. I guess today the plan is just to not be too aggressive and look after the tyres.
Yeah, we've got the pace today. 0.8 is a lot of time around the Indy circuit. So yeah, just gotta keep the head down, not make any mistakes, and the race should come to us.
Alex Martin on pole position with Nigel Mustill alongside. Pete Smallwood GTB pole, Kevin Riley GTO pole in 4th. Then it's Chris Randall and Rupert Martin on row 3. Mike Seller and GTA pole, Marcus Vivian on row 4. The grid completed by Jeff Wyatt, Chris Bentley and Sam Mole. The 7th race of the 2013 GT Cup Championship campaign here on the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch. And a terrific representation across the marks. Let's see whether Alex Martin will get the start that he wants. The invitation class car of Nigel Mustill alongside the Riley Daytona prototype on board with Rupert Martin. And that's Chris Randall. A significant move, a very quick start, and round the outside of Pete Smallwood to take the lead in GTB. And he's up the hill. We're on board with Chris in the Lotus Europa coming up into Druids. Now in front of him, the car in front, non-scoring car in the championship. It's running in the invitation class. He'll want to have a race nonetheless. And Randall's coming through. The very nimble 2-litre 16-valve Lotus trying to go through on the inside. The great thing about the Brands Indy circuit is that it's a terrific level of the twists and turns. You've got a massive long run, of course, round from Clearways where the race leader is. So Alex Martin, that new aero package you heard him talking about with Lisa working wonders, this is exactly where he wants to be. Up at the front end, overall pole position, up across the line. The Dextra Group car very clearly working well, and through on the inside goes the Mosler. Kevin Riley goes through into 3rd place, ahead of Chris Randall. And now on board with Marcus Vivian, the Porsche Cayman on the inside, brand new car, driven at the moment by Sam Mole. He's going to hand over to his dad Colin later on in the race. That car pretty much standard at the moment. A lot of development planned over the course of the next year or so, but wonderful to see it here. Sam and Colin making it over from the Isle of Man to join us, and a very welcome they are to the championship as well. Chris Randall then, the Lotus leading the Porsche. And that's the battle for GTB in this race. Very close indeed. Pete Smallwood, of course, races in the Porsche Carrera Cup, Pro-Am 2 Championship leader at this time. And looking around the outside line, he's going to be handing over to Ben Barker later on in the race, but the Lotus hanging on at the moment. Back on board with Marcus Vivian, ex-Ginetta Challenge driver, first time in the G50, and running with Reflex Racing, the team from Ashford, local to here at Brands Hatch. So coming on to Cooper Straight, and the Lotus still fending off Pete Smallwood, who's doing a very good job. Great to see him in the championship, running with Par Motorsport. Kevin Riley through. You can see a little bit of a gap now developing between the GTO Mosler, which seems to have had its qualifying problems ironed out, and the Lotus, with that absolute rocket ship start. Superb start indeed it was from Chris Randall. He leads GTB at the moment, but this, of course, the longest race of the weekend. And there's the Cayman, not too far away from the action. The Moles are going to be very pleased about that. Up across the line here at Brands Hatch, this 40-minute endurance race. There is Chris Bentley. Marcus Vivian putting him under a lot of pressure as the cars go down through Paddock Hill Bend.